Listen, how BG Wealth Sharing's Professor Stephen Beard dipped out was diabolical. We all agree. Stay warm. Don't catch a cold. But I'm all about solutions. Of course, we want to focus on skill sets, assets, and access. But in this scenario, there is some potential silver lining in the sense of recouping your losses. And I know people who've lost ranges of money from hundreds to four-figure thousands to five-figure thousands to six figures just off of the hopes of what BG Wealth Sharing could do. Now, some of it allowed greed to step in to where they was like, oh, I could do this. And they dumped, certain amounts more. But some was just money that they didn't withdraw because they wanted it to achieve a certain amount. But nonetheless, the silver lining in this is that the IRS has a special rule that can position you to recover some of the losses in the form of a tax deduction. And I want you to look into this. And don't just look into this, position yourself to do this. Like, figure out how much you lost. That's first and foremost. Hopefully you got some screenshots of, your money that's on the platform. That would be very helpful as well, because documentation beats conversation every day of the week. On top of that, I want you to look into the actual code. The IRS calls it theft loss from a transaction entered into for profit. So if you've made an investment into a platform that's unverified, a crypto or trading platform that's unverified, such as BG Wealth Sharing, DSJ Exchange, even the HQI, EX, you can tap into this special rule and recoup some of your funds because you entered into it for profit. This is totally different than if you were to get your wallet or your purse stolen. You can't just write that off. But if you were investing in something with the intent to make a profit, and that thing went belly up in the form of theft, like what just happened with BG Wealth, now you can position yourself to write that off as a tax deduction. So I want y'all to do that. This is your homework. This video has some homework because I really want you to recoup some of that money back, and this can offset your tax liability. Meaning that whatever money you made throughout the year, whatever amount that you lost via, the theft that took place from BG Wealth Sharing, you write that off on your taxes. So whether you lost hundreds, whether you lost thousands, whether you lost five figures, that amount can be used to offset your tax liability based on your overall taxable income. Your tax professional needs to know how to handle this, and when you report this information, they should be able to do it. If not, make sure you get a tax professional who knows how to properly get you what's rightfully yours in the form of tax deduction. Because at the end of the day, some of the best ways to maximize your cash flow is to give less money away. Yes, we want to focus on making more money. Yes, we want to focus on our money growing. Yes, we want to focus on, assets and passive income and things of that nature. But you also want to focus on things that position you to give less money away. One of the ways that you give less money away is by legally paying less in taxes. So you recording this loss positions you to legally pay less in taxes and not take this as a total loss. I really want you to get that. So look into that code. But let's dive a little bit deeper than that. Now, in order to claim this tax write-off, you or your tax professional need to file it on the form, the IRS form 4684. 4684. Why is this important? Because this positions you to take the tax deduction without being limited by the standard tax things from a personal standpoint. You're writing this off as an investment theft, period, point blank. So with you having this form, now you're in a better position to do it the right way, but not be limited from just taking it from a personal loss standpoint. It was an investment loss because it was done with the intent to make a profit, but it ended in theft. So get that form, and this is easily searchable. I just wanted you to see what it looks like and put it on the screen. But get that form and make sure you have it for your tax professional. If you file your own taxes, cool. You know what to do. If not, then your tax professional should know what to do, or they can get educated on what to do so that way they can, further strengthen their skill set and be of use to others who may have gone through similar things, because it happens all across the board. PG Web sharing is just, one of those that took it to a certain level, but it happens all across the board. So if they don't know about this, then you may be putting them in a position to where they can be an asset to many people to come. And share this video with somebody who you feel who may benefit. Like this video as well. Let's get it to at least 100 likes, because it helps a ton. And I know somebody, even if they wasn't a part of BG Web sharing, people have been scammed for years but didn't know that they can get a tax deduction due to this IRS special rule. So IRS form 4684 is what you will need, and you want to get that now, so you're not trying to figure it out towards the end of the year, beginning of next year. Now, the next logical question is, how much can you actually claim of the losses? Very great question. And it's two parts, because if you're actively planning to pursue some type of lawsuit against the platform owners, then it's a certain amount, in comparison to if you're not planning on filing a lawsuit or going after the platform owners and trying to recoup from a bankruptcy standpoint or whatever the case may be. So if you're like, you know what, it is what it is, I'm gonna take the loss, but I'm gonna also take this tax deduction, this write-off, you can write off 95%. 95% is what it said to be able to be written off at the time of this recording, subject to change, but 95%, that's almost 100. So that's pretty significant. However, if you're planning to pursue a lawsuit, then the number is different. It's 75% while you're waiting, or while you're pursuing that lawsuit, to see if you can recoup even more. To each his own. I'm not here to tell you what to do. This is not financial advice. This is not me saying that you should or need to do, or I'm recommending you do this. I just want to let you know what options exist, so you can decide what's right for you, for yourself, because many people didn't know this option existed, and they didn't know what form was necessary in order to make this happen. So 95% if you're not planning on suing, you're just going to take it as a loss, but also take this tax deduction. 75% if you're like, nah, I want to sue because I was that invested. Whatever the case may be, you choose which one is best for you. Now, I want you to hear me out and hear me clear on this, because I want you to avoid this trap. Avoid the trap of trying to write off whatever was showing in your balance. The IRS doesn't care about whatever fictitious number was showing on the screen. So don't go in there trying to write off exactly what was on the screen, because you didn't actually touch that money. That was, fictitious numbers that was being put on the screen. What you want to write off is the net investment that you made. For example, if you invested $500 and you never withdrew any of it, that $500 could have grew to $3,000, $5,000. The loss you're taking is the $500 initial investment. That's very important to note. Not what it looks like the account grew to. Because I don't want you to get in the position to where you try to claim everything, and now you put yourself in a predicament because they realize, oh, the initial investment was only this, based on the documentation, based on the records. And now you've created a situation that didn't need to be created because you were trying to be greedy and claim whatever was showing up in the account. No, the initial investment, net investment, that's what you're looking at. So make sure you pay close attention to that. Now, on another example, say you invested $500, you grew that $500 to $2,000 plus, you withdrew $1,000, and then you made another investment of $500. Now you have to look at, okay, what was the net investment that I did not get an ROI on, that got caught up in the investment theft? You write off that other $500 because you already were compensated for the initial investment and made an ROI. So you really want to pay attention to those numbers. You know what you did, hopefully, and you know what you invested, because you can look at the actual crypto exchange that you transferred it from and see, okay, this was the exact dollar amount that I invested. Okay, I can write off 95% of this or 75% of this, depending on your situation. So very important to note, and I got to stress the importance of that, because I know how it is. People want to get as much as they can, and they see the number on the screen. They're like, I had 12,000 in there. Did you? Or did it appear that you had 12,000 in there? So I really want to make that, that important distinction, because I don't want none of us, getting caught up in nonsense associated with, tax fraud, if that makes sense. So that being said, the net investment based on what you put in, not just the numbers on the screen. That's very important to note, and I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down, because I don't want us to, go down the wrong rabbit hole. We gotta tighten up. We got caught slipping with BG Wealth Sharing, so we gotta tighten up and make sure we move accordingly going forward. Now, this is the most important part, because I said you're gonna have homework. This is not just something you watch and it's gonna take care of itself. No, you got to do your part as well. So what you need to do is get screenshots of your platform deposits. If you can still access the platform deposit history, get screenshots of that. In addition to that, also get screenshots of the bank transfer history or whatever crypto platform you transferred the money from. You want screenshots of that, because the IRS is not just going to take your word for it. You want to be in position for, pretty much audit protection. So you want to have screenshots and documentation. And then lastly, and I can help you out with this one, is a copy of the professor's farewell letter, for the most part, just showing, hey, I'm out of here. You want a copy of that. Obviously, I went over it in the previous video. I have it all in one place, so that way you're not just having to dig through the bond chat and get the screenshots. And I'll make the link available down below. So it'll be a Google Doc. You should be able to access it just by having access to the link. That way you can save and make a copy so you can have it for yourself, and you can use that as your documentation. And I just put it down either in the description, the comment, somewhere. It'll be somewhere available to you. That way you can use that as a form of documentation. Since I already did the work of copying everything that was said, now we all have it together. So, in conclusion, take action on this. See if you can position yourself to get this as a tax deduction with your tax professional, or if you file your own taxes, then, this positions you to recoup a portion of the funds that was lost, because we got to focus on solutions over just the problems. Every problem presents a solution. And if we act on the solution, we can come out a little bit better than we would have had we just settled for the problem. Very important. More things coming down the pipeline. I told you, I got a platform that, can help you trade more effectively. And I'm not vetting it, but taking the steps to get in position. It is some learning curves, and I want to shorten the learning curves, but you will have support and things of that nature from the creators of the platform. But it is some learning curves for those who've never traded and never had charts and things of that nature. So it's some learning curves for me as well on certain things. But it's important for us to push through any learning curve, period, point blank, and not be opposed to learning, not be opposed to stretching ourselves and learning something new and going through whatever it takes to get in position to be able to pull money out of the market. Skill sets, assets, access. Mr. Smith signing out. Salute.